All right, it's your boy DJ VALIDD DJ Valid. Like, subscribe, share if you want. I encourage it. Dislike if you want. I also encourage it. We gotta know, who's who. I really appreciate if you do. So today, what we're gonna talk about is just a little bit of everything: current events, some thoughts. The OBS program that I'm using, it looked like they did some changes. They updated it, so it's a little better now that I'm using my GoPro. So hopefully I get to put out. That was actually the biggest thing. It was just trying to find out the mechanics to work this thing, but no excuses. No excuses. I'm slowly building, as you should be too. Slowly building your network, slowly building your consistency if you're trying to do YouTube, just trying to build overall. I disappeared for a month to work on myself physically and a little bit of and mentally, and a little bit of that is just going through the motions of life. Life can be very hard, you know what I'm saying, especially for somebody who like me, who constantly doubting themselves, constantly thinking twice. I think a lot of us always have that problem where we have the answering sheet with A, B, C, or D, and we know it's A, but then we think it's B. So we got to learn how to get out of that mindset and just go with your first answer, go with your first thought, and just go. That's the difference, in my opinion, the difference between people who are successful and the people who are not just there just yet. Because I'm not gonna say we're all not gonna be successful. Success to me is a person who goes through the trials, the tribulations, and survives, endures. You know what I mean? It's not the person who quickly amasses this or wealth or whatever the case may be. But in our society, how it goes, the more money you have, the more success people think you have. But if you really look at it, rich people are not the happiest people. If you really look at it, money does bring happiness when you come from nothing, when you don't have much. You know what I'm saying? So, first and foremost, everybody, I hope you're doing great. I hope everything is copacetic. I don't know if that's a word, copacetic. I don't know. Somebody tell me if I said the word wrong. I hope your relationships are doing right. I hope that nobody's cheating on nobody, but you know how it goes already. um, I took a little time away to learn the mechanics of certain things, to come up with just different content, where I want to go, and just overall mental and physical health, man. I've been trying to just get myself on the right path. Um, did anybody watch the B.E.T. Awards? I remember the days when, like, I was speaking to my sister. I think it was yesterday. They had the B.E.T. Awards, and I was speaking with my sister, and I said, "Yo, you remember the days when B.E.T. used to actually have great content? Do you remember Adrian Free? You remember those the top 10 or whatever it was countdown? Do you remember Blind Fury with the freestyles? Do you remember these days? Because I do. I remember Rap City in the Basement with Big Tigger. It was a great time, man. And if you watched the BT Awards yesterday, I don't know how many people actually still watch BT, but it's just not the same. And I looked at the lineup. It says coming next, this and that, this and that. I'm like, oh man, we really fell off. And I seen the concept of how they set the stage up. There was a stage where people were actually had their backs turned to the performer. How disrespectful is that? Wow, we've come a long way. But as we know, BT, I don't think is owned by black people anymore. I think it's more, I don't know who it's owned by, but it's definitely not black people, and it's not anymore has anything to do with our culture. But I didn't come here to give BT a shine and talk about BT. I kind of came here to just talk about me, talk about everything that I'm going through, and et cetera, et cetera. So without further ado, let's get into it. So for the last month, it says that I haven't been on YouTube. I've just been literally working on myself physically, as I said in my last videos, mentally. This stuff takes time, people. And the biggest fight you're gonna have, as I always say, is gonna be with yourself. So it's a lot of fighting internally with my mind, a lot of fighting with physically to get up and do what I have to do as far as working out, uh, building a business. These things are not easy, especially for a black man. But I don't make excuses, and I don't think none of you black people, right? I'm talking about people that look like me, don't make excuses. We're not gonna make no excuses. They gave us what they gave us, and we're gonna work with it because there's so many examples of success that didn't sell out, that didn't give up their soul to acquire wealth. So there's many of us out here, young black men, many of us, many of us who have good morals, who want to succeed in life. It's just the spotlight is not shined on us. So don't let that discourage you. You know what I'm saying? Once in a while, you're gonna fall down. But in that Aaliyah song, right? Get yourself up and try it again. You gotta keep trying again until you finally click. And trust me, when it click, them tears are gonna be warm, bro. They're gonna be warm. You know that warm cry is you're gonna get one of those because you're gonna realize everything that you've been through to get to where you are now all made sense. God does not make mistakes. He has never made a mistake ever once. Okay, so everything you go through, you just have to make sure you endure. The race is not for the swift, but for those who can endure. Right? So endure, my people, endure. Like I said, the BET Awards was, I don't know what that was. Um, it's almost a reflection of where we're going as a society, you know. And I'm just freestyling on my thoughts real quick, so bear with me, alright? When I watched the BET Awards, I remember Rap City Basement. I remember all these good things. I remember the Cameron freestyle, you know. I remember the Lloyd Banks, the G Unit freestyle. I remember these things, and I'm like, wow, these were great times that we took for granted, you know. And now when you look at what we have, it's like the talent has the bar has been lowered so low that it's almost unwatchable. No disrespect to anybody who's trying to feed their family, but it's at the cost of the entertainment business. Like it's it shows us how dumbed down we are. You know, with these mix that in with the smartphones, mix that in with people staying inside and not going out as much. You mix all these things together, it creates a recipe for a dumbed down society, like they always say, a new world order. You know, when I was walking around the height of the the big C, I looked around, I'm seeing people with masks on, and I'm just like, wow, the world has really changed into their concept of it. If you really look at it, when I always seen people with masks on, they were ninjas as a kid. And then when you get a little older, you realize they were bandits, you know, people who commit crimes and rob and steal. They put masks on. And now we got them in our government. You know, the government, our high level government, has masks on. I mean, am I the only one who thinks that's weird? That can't be a good thing. If they got your government has masks on. What's that telling you? So anyway, I've been physically working out, mentally working out. I've been trying to learn different things. I've been doing a lot of reading. It's an isolated lifestyle that I don't think is for everybody, you know. And I don't think that you should stay in it for too long, because it can definitely make you a little crazy. Um, I know for me though, I personally, because I was a dude who was always going out back in the day. Like I was always outside for no reason, just be outside. And I realized I had to take the time to reel myself in and get on a certain track, a certain focus. And it's almost like training yourself, you know, in the martial arts, but in the martial arts of your life, of your world. You understand? You have to master your world. Your world, you know what it is. Nobody else lives in your world. When you go home from your friends and you go home in your bed and you're by yourself, you have to recount the day. You have to think about everything you've done. If you're proud of it, if you're proud of the people that you hang with, if you're just proud of how your life is going. So that's what I did. I isolated myself beyond isolated myself, and the only support that I really have is, you know, my family, my mother, my sisters, my uncles, my aunts. I have them, but other than that, you don't tell your. I don't know what kind of relationships you guys have with your family. I don't know if you can hear that, but I don't know. I don't know what kind of relationship you guys have with your family, but I'm not the type to always have my hand out. I'm not the type to always ask for favors. I don't ask for favors. People say that's pride, but I believe that's you building up yourself, because this is 50 Cent said this. He said that, and I'm paraphrasing 50. He said basically, don't just come here asking for something. Come here with a business plan and let me see what I can do to work with you. You understand? So as young black men who I'm talking to right now, young black women, I want y'all to always have a plan. And I'm not talking from a place where I'm the big cahuta. I'm not, you know, I got the money, I got this, I got that. No, I'm struggling like everybody else in this crazy time. You know what I mean? I've never been. If you ask anybody that knows me, I've never been afraid to show the holes in my pants, the money I don't have, because I know that that's all part of the journey, and I want people to see when I'm doing bad, so that they can say, wow, I saw him when he was, you know, he was messed up. I want people to say that. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the dude who always had a Rolex, or always. I don't care about that type of stuff. Material things do not define us. All right? Remember that. Material things don't mean nothing. Rest in peace to Pop Smoke. He got killed over some material. I think it was jewelry. You understand? It means nothing, people. You can't take it with you. You're not gonna be bling blinging out in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Most of that's gonna probably lead you to hell. The way you, if you think in that mindset. So get off of that. You know, work on you. The people who are truly respected in our society is the people who have resources, the people who own oil, the people who open schools, the principals, the people who run stuff, the owners of things, are the people who have the big talks about our lives, you know, our community. So you have to get into mindset and say, I want to own instead of just I want to just have a chain and a nice car and that's it. That's the amount of your success. That's not your success. You can't work a regular job with an $80,000 car and live with a roommate or with your mom or whatever the case may be. So that's where I branched off of that completely. I want to be like, shout out to my brother Kwame Brown, who owns land. Kwame Brown been killing the internet, man. Shout out to Kwame Brown. Like, he really is an inspiration to all of us young black men who see things in a different light. And that only comes, like I tell you guys, from isolation. You got to isolate yourself just to the point, whatever work your time period that works for you, isolate yourself to the point where you can build and focus. I'm a dude who knows myself, so I cannot be around people too much because it's gonna throw me off my focus. You understand? Through staying to myself and through working on myself, I've been able to do something I never thought I could do. I thought I was gonna be able to, like, I was gonna smoke weed all my life. You know, I thought I was gonna be that dude that's gonna be 90 smoking weed. When I realized I don't like to be sedated, and the more I stayed to myself doing this, I realized, yo, this is whack. This only made sense when I was hanging with a bunch of people who was condoning the way I was living. But if you want to travel, you know what I'm saying? If you want to live a great life, not saying that weed hinders that, but if you're like me, who has to have a clear mind, a focused mind, and where I feel people respect you more when you're more focused, you know. Even Nipsey Hussle, I remember an interview with Tariq Nasheed. He said, you know, he gave up the weed for a little bit so he can handle some business. And somebody like Nipsey, come on, I respect Nipsey times 1,000. You know, rest in peace, Nip Hussle. We're gonna keep the marathon going for real. I saw Laura London on BET. She looked very nice, very very beautiful young lady. Wow, right? And that's another thing to the fellas. If you're a teenager, if you're in your 20s, your 30s, and you want a beautiful girl, sorry, playing activity. But if you're in the 20s, your teens, and you aspire to have a beautiful woman, a beautiful wife, and you want to keep her for the rest of your life, she has to view you as a boss. Nipsey Hussle would end up marrying that woman because he's a boss. Every day he strives to better himself. Every day he works on business. Every day he has something new to bring to the table that's gonna enhance their life. You understand? It's not just the material things. You understand? These things are just the trinkets that come with success. So aspire to own land, like Kwame Brown is telling us, to learn a skill, a trade, and create an app. These I'm specifically talking to my younger cats and to my older cats who know better, do better. You know what I'm saying? We have a culture where gangs and doing the wrong thing is celebrated. How much longer? I mean, that's just a question for me. Like, how much longer do we stay in that mindset? When I look at, and I'm not trying to compare us to anybody else because we are unique people. But how many people in those other cultures do you see that celebrated? Do you see that in Indian culture where gangs are celebrated? No, they're shunned. They're not even looked at as they're the underworld for real. And that's what it's supposed to be. In Asian culture, the Yakuza and these guys, they're not celebrated even though they are part of the society, they're not celebrated. They even know themselves to stay under the radar, to respect the police, to respect certain things. Now, I'm all for respect if it's given. You know, in our culture, we don't get respect from anything or anybody. So we have to climb ourselves out of that hole. You know, I had a conversation with my sister about the bonnets. Now, I remember, what's her name? Um, Moesha, not Moesha, the Parkers, Monique. Salute to that beautiful elder. She was talking about, you know, basically women wearing bonnets in public, and I didn't watch the video myself, but I understand what she was saying. I heard that from different tidbits from every other person, and I don't believe that our black women should wear bonnets in public. I believe that when you carry yourself out in public, you're speaking volumes about you and where your upbringings come from. So I always make it a point to look decent when I step outside. Excuse me, sorry, I had a little soda. Sparkling grapefruit. So I always look decent when I step outside. People, I know a lot of us say we don't care what people think. We don't care what people think. It doesn't make that an excuse to go out and walk around looking crazy. You know what I mean? You can't be wearing, to me personally, I believe, you can't go out wearing slippers and pajamas in a Walmart. You can't go out there looking like that when you're in public spaces. People, unfortunately, the world is ignorant to the point where people respect you based on how you look, how you dress. You understand? We haven't reached the Star Trek level yet where people respect you for your skills and your knowledge and your talents and things of that nature. So you, like a cop stopped me one time, and I had some clips in the car, whatever the case may be. I was on my way to McDonald's. I wasn't bothering anybody, and of course, these guys were, hunting for black men. They pulled me out, the detectives, but he said something that I'll never forget. He said, "Just ignorance, you wasn't doing anything, yeah, but ignorance of the law doesn't make it any better. You can't be ignorant to the law, and the law at that time stated you can't ride around with this in your car. So even if I pulled you over and I'm a racist cop or whatever the case may be, you still had what you had, so you still give me grounds to do what I want. But because I'm the type of guy the way I am, I was able to, get out of that situation. How many more of those situations am I going to be able to get out before I focus myself? And then a couple times after that, I had gotten some trouble. That it eventually led to that. So it led to so people, be very wise on how you move out here. Tell your sons, tell your daughters, you have to dress for success. That is a real thing. And even if you're going out to the supermarket, even if you're going out to get something to eat, you don't dress like you're in your house. You dress with respect. You carry yourself with your head high. You walk in and talk in a clear voice, coherent, even if you smoke some stuff. You know what I mean? Spray a little cologne on to me. It's all about being respectful. Now, I had my sister, we was talking about the bonnets and everything, and she was like, you know, people, I'm gonna do what I want to do because I'm not gonna adjust myself because of how people are ignorant. And I'm saying, sis, I understand what you're saying, I do, but we're not in that phase of the world yet where people don't judge you. They do. I don't care if people judge me. No, you should care what people judge you. I gave her a scenario. I said, if you're a businesswoman, a serious businesswoman, and you want to hire somebody, right, or even if you want to do business for somebody, you don't walk into the meeting with a bonnet because the world is a certain way. You understand? So they're gonna judge you off of that and go, you know what? I don't want to do business with somebody who wears a bonnet and pajamas to a meeting. I don't want to hire her, even if this young lady's super talented. I don't want if she doesn't have respect enough to respect herself and come outside with some slacks, business attire to get this job. Then what is she gonna do about my job? She's not gonna respect my job. She's gonna say, I'm talented and this is the way it is. I don't care. I know what I can do, so it doesn't matter what I wear. No, it does matter what you wear outside. It does matter how, because it reflects how you feel about yourself. You understand? So to all my young brothers out there, same thing. Try to do your best to look decent when you walk outside. Go ahead and get yourself a little haircut. Talk to your barber if you got a finesse. You get a little cut. Always look decent. One, you never know who's looking to give you an opportunity, and two, you don't know what opportunities you might get. This could be your whole life changes from somebody seeing how you look decent. Many times when I was younger, when I was in my teens, uh, I had like a little suit, not a suit, but like a casual suit where it was a blazer, button up, nice jeans, and it was like shoes. And I used to take the subway back then. I didn't have a car at the time. And every single time people would stop me and compliment me on my dressing. To be a young man and dress nice like that, I'm talking about people would just come to me like I'm a celebrity. And I sit back and I say, wow, just a button up does this. That's just a button up. People want to do business with you. People want to give you little perks when you go here and there just because of how you dress. You seem like somebody respectable. And you see, white people have mastered that. Where the white man who probably has people in his dungeon, I'm not talking about anybody specific, but somebody who has somebody in their dungeon can come out with a whole three-piece suit and get respect. You know why that is? Because that's the standard. That's how it is. Unfortunately, we live under a certain standard, a European standard where you dress a certain way. I'm not saying you have to abide by it. You can definitely still get by wearing what you want to wear and do what you want to do if you have enough the gift of gab to talk to people and let people see through that. But I'm telling you, off the rip, people are gonna see through their lenses because most people are shaped by this world. Most people don't think outside the box. The average person, they're gonna look at you and they're gonna judge you. And yeah, you might not care, but that's gonna hinder you. So I hope you understand what I'm saying when I say that. Now, as far as me being consistent with the YouTube, it's been really hard because a lot of doubt has clouded my mind with a lot of things, and I've been going through a lot mentally. I've been trying to save up enough bread to to achieve certain goals that I've set for myself. And for people who don't know, bread means money, and it's not easy. I live in New York City. I keep telling you guys I live in New York City. Rent is $2,000 to $3,000 just to rent out a place. So it's really not easy for me. But I don't give up. I don't give up. I endure. because I know that it's all a molding process. God knows how hard the world is. He knows. He sees the crevices of the thing, the dark alleys at 3 o'clock when you're in your bed. He sees what really is out here. He knows that the discussions that are being held by police or whoever may be that might not have your best interests in hand. I'm not saying all cops, but there's some cops who don't have your best interests in hand. You know how they come up to you and judge you? I've been stopped by the cops so many times in my life I can't count, right? They judge you of how you look. When you're a young black man driving in your car and you look decent, right? You look put together, you're less likely, not all the way. Some are going to take it all the way, but less likely to be bothered. You understand? I wore fitted. I remember one time I went to the liquor store and I had on my fitted cap driving a regular car, and the D-Tex got behind me. And I'm a dude I'm always on point with that type of stuff because of the experiences that I've experienced. When I started driving, cops would always pull me over. I just got hip to certain things and I don't try to make the same mistake twice. So the cops came behind me. The gas station was on the left. So I made sure I got in the lane to turn to the gas station. They knew that if they got me on the gas station, it would be a different ball game, right? So they put on their sirens right away, as predicted, and pulled me over to the side, right? Before they did all of that, they came to the left of me, right? On the left-hand side. They looked in my car. I looked back at them. All I did was make eye contact. He saw the fitted cap on, got behind me, and pulled me over, all because I had a fitted cap on. You understand what I'm saying? You got to learn how to play a game with these people and outsmart them. Because one thing with racism is it's predictable. You know what this guy's going to think of you before he even thinks. So think for him. This is how I play with the cops. Not play with them, but you know what I mean? This is how I get into their minds. Because I know what they're coming with. The ones that pull me over for having a fitted cap on, I already know what time it is with that. So I act accordingly. I take my fitted cap off from an area where I know that they're pulling black men over. When you're driving through the hood, you take your fitted off just so you don't attract attention. It's not about being coward. It's just being outsmarting them. You understand? You may even be a dude who's knee deep in the game. Do you drive a S550, a Benzo, a nice new body Benz when you're selling drugs and you're doing crime or whatever the case may be? Do you drive something to attract attention? Something that racist. I'm talking about the racist people. Not everybody's racist. Not every cop is racist, but a lot of them are. So you're gonna drive something like that and then have you ride dirty and all of that, so that you can bring that heat on yourself, so that you can go down. It's like setting yourself up. No, you be like a 007 if you're gonna play that game. You throw them off. You get a car that's inconspicuous to your skin color because you know what you're doing and you know you're gonna be judged before anybody else. You make sure you move accordingly. So I drive something low key under the radar, and guess what, people? Believe it or not, I don't get stopped. Cops look at me. I look at cops. They don't even look at me twice. You understand? Because you have to move very quietly in a society where most people look at you as a criminal off the back. They judge you off the back. There's nothing you can do about that. And another thing I was telling my sister, we don't hold the keys to the gate. We're not the gatekeepers. Yeah, there's appointed gatekeepers from our society to keep us dumbed down, but where the majority of black people are not. We're under the boot. We're in the dirt. You understand? And when it comes to respect, when it comes to anything else, so you have to be smarter and you have to organize low key. So that's all I basically wanted to say about that. We talked about the B.E.T. We talked about just the bonnets and everything, and I just want to say to everybody who's out here still trying to, like, to the entrepreneurs, to the people who are trying to get their LLC popping, who's trying to move to another state so that they can get a business plan going. Don't give up. Giving up is the actual is surrendering to a society that already views us as dirt, as 3/5 of a human being. You're giving in. You might as well sell your soul. I'm just gonna go ahead and say if you're gonna give up, you might as well sell your soul. But when you keep persevering, when you never give up, when you keep on going, even though things don't look good, you can't even see the light of the tunnel, just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There is. There 100% is. You have to keep going. You have to keep being consistent, and you have to keep on preaching. I was gonna say the gospel, but you got to keep on preaching the right things, not to anybody else, but to yourself. When you wake up in the morning, you thank God. You make sure you thank God by exercising, by reading, By giving him all the tools that he gave you to have, your fingers, your toes, you use that in a way to show that you're thankful. That's how you move. Sometimes the devil's gonna get you where you feel down and depressed and you don't feel like moving, or you feel like this or you feel like that and you wanna, you know what I mean? It's gonna happen. But like I said in that Aaliyah song, you get yourself up and you try again. You never stop. You keep on coming. You got to be like a boxer that's gonna be relentless, even if you know he's gonna lose the round. Take them hits. Keep on going. Keep on going. You know. Shout out to Javante Davis for the knockout. Great fight. See, people like that are inspirations. You know, young boxers who come from, like Mike Tyson, who come from nothing and box their way to the top. They find a way to the outlet to release their talent. So don't stop, people. If you have a talent, harness it. Work on it. No matter how hard and demotivated, because I'm speaking from a personal point, how demotivated you feel about certain things, because you know who you are. But the world doesn't know yet, and the world has to know that. And the only way the world's gonna know that is by networking. So when I talk to people through this camera, I'm talking to myself as well. Don't think that I'm preaching to you guys. I'm talking to myself as well. I go through a lot of things too. So that's why I made this YouTube channel in hopes that I find other people that think like me, that move like me. And we come together and we build and we create a network of people who think like us. And you know what's gonna happen? More people are gonna see, whoa, this dude's, cool dude. He chill. He's from Queens. He do his thing. I want to be a part of that. Next person sees that from another state. I want to be a part of that. Now we have a global network. That's how you think gangs and stuff started. People saw the rags, and the people. Those were for the people who suffered in life in the beginning. They most people who joined gangs, they didn't find love in their household, so they had to find somebody that loved them. We all need people who love us. You understand? So that's why they joined the gangs, and there's a lot. Unfortunately, in our black community, there's a lot of people like that. So that's why you see so much gangs. But you see, it's not until they get older, if they live to see it, and survive it, or they sit down in jail for a while, where they get to really think and see what's really real. That's when they realize. So you're always going to see the 40-year-old dude, 50-year-old dude talking about this and talking about that. But by then it's too late. There's always a new crop of young people coming up that are looking. Young people. One thing I know about kids, and that's from working at Walgreens when I was younger. Kids are always watching. I remember I was on the line in Walgreens and the little girl said, she said, "Is this my dad?" or something like that. She exposed the mom's business right there in front of everybody. The lady was so embarrassed. But she was watching and she was learning, and maybe this lady had a lot of men around. So the kid was confused. The kid is always watching. The kid always gets information, the child, I should say. So be wary, my people, of the people that you bring around. Be wary of how you present yourself, because the kids are watching. You know what I mean? It's your boy DJ VALIDD, DJ Valid. If you like what I was saying, you agree with what I was saying, please like, please subscribe, comment, talk to me. Dislike if you didn't like. If you hate the message, if you want things to be racist, if you want a world where we're underneath on the boot, underneath the on the ground or whatever, we're disenfranchised and we keep going another 200, 300, 400 years the same way we've been going forever, then dislike and put your comment. I might delete it though. So like I was saying, everybody stay good in good health. Drink your tea. Avoid taking shots, if you know what I'm saying. Go outside and exercise, because God gave us the world to survive off of. He didn't make no mistakes, all right? Eat healthy and do good by your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Do good by the people around you. Do things for free. Do things for free out of the goodness of your heart. Give away money if you have it, because it's only going to come back in good karma for you, right? It's your boy DJ Valid, man. Thank you.